Everything you own is about to start snitching on you. Your phone, obviously, but also your earbuds, your watch that counts your steps and judges your sleep, your badge that you swipe to get into work, the sensors in your tires, and yes, the chip in your dog. All of it. Informants. Every gadget on your body is wearing a wire. Your Fitbit has a handler. Your dogs have been meeting a Fed in the parking garage at midnight, flipping on you for a milk bone. And by the way, I've been asked, so here is my dog tax. Bella, aka Emotions the dog, my 9-year-old mountain cur, and Landry, my 13-year-old insulin-dependent, formerly paralyzed, mostly deaf, mostly blind, half Catahoula, half Cocker Spaniel, and 100% the best dog ever to walk the earth. And no, I wouldn't put it past them to be bought off by the feds for treats. And sure, I'm being a little cute about the tracking here, kinda, because there's a lot of truth to what I'm saying, especially when it comes to these license plate cameras like Flock, or what we thought were supposed to be just license plate cameras. A defense contractor called Leonardo just taught those license plate cameras on every pole in America to essentially fingerprint you based on what is in your pockets. And hat tip to 404 Media, they first reported this because Leonardo's own sales copy brags about this. Their system is called Signal Trace, and instead of just reading your license plate, it sniffs out any invisible radio signatures that are leaking off every device you carry. Your phone's Bluetooth, your AirPods, your smartwatch, your work badge, the sensors in your tires, and yes, the RFID chip in your dog. And it bundles them into what the company itself literally calls an electronic fingerprint. Their own sales copy lays it out, plain as day. They say, sure, 70 out of 100 cars have an iPhone, but only one has an iPhone 13 with an Audi radio, Bose headphones, a Garmin watch, a key finder, and a license plate that says ABC123. That specific bundle is you, and that's why they call it a fingerprint. Now, sure, the machine doesn't know your name yet, but it knows that you're a 52-year-old dad with Bose headphones and a Garmin that's listening to World War II podcasts in your Audi. And honestly, it's probably more than your kids know about you. Which means, stay with me here, the license plate camera, it doesn't matter if you change your license plate. It doesn't matter if you switch cars. As long as you're carrying your own stuff, their little network still knows that it's you. And by the way, it gets even better. The sniffers don't even need the camera. The company brags that they can be planted with no plate reader at all. And they can put them in, quote, rail stations, event venues, and shopping centers. So it's not just the road anymore. This is the train platform, the concert, the mall. Anywhere your pocket goes, your pocket can be logged. Yes, they can open a federal file on the very air in your tires. And before I show you who's already abusing this, I want to hear from you guys, because this one, it's not left or right. This is bipartisan. The cameras stopped watching your car and started watching you. Your phone, your watch, your kids' AirPods and iPad. What is the line and how do we stop it? Because look, I know the UK, they've got us beat when it comes to cameras tracking everything, but are we headed down the same or a worse path? This truly is the crux of the privacy versus security debate. And if you're thinking, okay, creepy, who else would actually abuse this? Well, we don't have to guess, because the camera network that this ties into, Flock, is already the problem. The EFF confirmed that this summer that Flock's system has a built-in toggle. One single click that runs every plate it has read against a federal immigration violator file, a list that only ICE can fill. The ACLU documented local cops running these searches on behalf of ICE's deportation arm, and in Texas, an officer actually used that very same system to hunt down a woman who had had an abortion. So this isn't hypothetical. This isn't paranoia. This exists, and it's already being pointed at immigrants and at women, and Leonardo's new toy just makes it 1,000 times more precise. upgrading it from what car are you in to what's in your pockets and where do you sleep at night and what music do you listen to. Is it a stretch to think that this would be used in a more aggressive way by a regime that threatens anyone that doesn't agree with them? And you have to consider the source here, because it is Donald Trump and Markwayne Mullins' Department of Homeland Security handing out grant money that bolts these cameras onto more poles every single week. Right now, there are over 100,000 flock cameras worth $7.5 billion. I hear there's a lot of good copper in there. Anyway, that grows no matter how many times town councils vote no, because that federal checkbook, it never closes. Because the terrifying thing about this story, flock cameras don't care who you voted for. They track the immigrant and the person on the way to church, the protester and the guy at the gun show, the woman driving to the clinic and the guy driving to the rally. This is a machine for watching everyone, and now it does it with precision. Look, Austin, they killed their flock contract. Denver's council rejected one unanimously. Evanston, they pulled the plug after they found that ICE had run 7 searches through its cameras. So red cities and blue cities are yanking these things off the polls because for once, the left and the right looked up at the exact same camera and had the same damn thought. Get it off of my street. And the courts, they keep saying, when you're in public, there is no expectation of privacy. Fine. But there is a giant canyon between that and a private company mapping everywhere that your body and your possessions go, funded by your government and searchable by any untrained guy that has a login and a grudge. And that's why I'm asking you to subscribe and share this story everywhere. Because the only thing that has ever slowed this down is regular people finding out what that poll actually does before they get to renew the contract.